So where are the really nice homes? Okay, so now I know about the area. I don't know how much house I can buy compared to where I'm living now. That's what this video is going to tell you. We're going to show you where the more expensive homes are, the ones that are higher above the average market price. Stay tuned, we're going to get to it right now. So if you're moving to Plattsburgh and you're trying to figure out, well, where are the nicer homes? Maybe you can afford a nicer home. You know, we always talk about, well, here's the average home price. Well, I want to know, or maybe you want to know, if you're relocating to Plattsburgh, where are the nicer homes at the top of the market? This video is going to show you that in just a minute. My name is James Jock with eXp Realty, and I've got your back when it comes to relocating to Plattsburgh or the North Country area. If this is your first time visiting the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then the little bell so you'll get notified anytime I do a video. I'm going to tell through all my videos about where you can live, what the homes are like, where's the shopping, where's the good restaurants, what's the cost of living, all those type of things. Know that I've got your back when it comes to moving to Plattsburgh. So let's get right to it right now. We're going to start by looking at the city of Plattsburgh. Right now I've got 250 and up selected, and I've just got narrowed down to the city of Plattsburgh. So what I'm doing is, these are all the homes that are 250,000 above. So what I'll say with that though is, you know how those automated home values aren't really very accurate because one site to another can be varying quite a bit. Okay. So the site that I'm using, I think, is using the tax assessed value. We got to use some number, and at least they're all going to be skewed the same way, maybe. But this way we can kind of see, where those homes are. So right now I've got selected 250,000 or higher. So what you're seeing is just north of the city over here, which is closest to the water, Lake Champlain, which you would expect that would be in that price range, right? 250 or higher. You can see where they're starting to fill in closer to the water. All right. And then the downtown area, just so you kind of get your bearings, is right here. So there's a section there. And that's Cumberland Avenue. I'm going to show you a video of that. And then this is the hospital right here, Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital. Now it's called University of Vermont Medical Health Network, Champlain Valley Physicians. It's got a long name. The hospital, CVPH, is right here. So this road right here is called Beekman Street. Those are assessed between like 250 and it looks like 450. And then there's a section over here, in through here, and then this section all over here. I'm going to show you videos of all those. But what I want to do, let me just keep going a little bit. There's some other, you can see that there's some streets over here. Those are new homes. Those are also priced, have a higher assessed value. So here are some other ones. I actually show you, I've got video footage to show you of this as well. But what I want to do is I want to zoom back out. This was 250,000 and above, okay? Those are the neighborhoods that we just saw. So let's make that 300,000 and then see, you'll see, I think it updated my filter. Come on now. All right, let's zoom in a little. So it's some of the same areas that we showed before. Here's the hospital here. And it's now some of the houses in around there, but not all of them. You see, like in some of the streets over here, some are over 300 and the others fell in that 250 to 300 probably. Same with Beekman Street. Before it was 250 and it was almost all of them. Now the 350 and above, it's doing what you would expect. It's limiting them. And then over by the water, by the lake on Cumberland Avenue and some of the side streets, you'll see the same thing there. So that's the 300 plus, okay? I want to bring it up a little more too, just so you can kind of get an idea. And again, sometimes you go somewhere and you want to know, well, where are the nicer homes? That's a valid question. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go 350. So now it's doing what you would expect. It's fewer homes in the same areas that we looked at. Here's the hospital. Here, some of those same communities. Okay. And then if you go 400, Okay, quite a bit less. So then you're seeing them just in some of the fewer areas. Okay, Cumberland Avenue area along by the water. There's a few housing areas over here. And then this is Eastgate over here. And then this is not really a named community, but I'm going to show you that area as well. So what this does is it gives you an idea just in the city of Plattsburgh where some of the upper end homes are. Now that the reason that that's important is because, you know, depending on where you're relocating from, you know, like right now we're filtered at 400 and above. 400,000 might get you something much different than what you would get in Plattsburgh, you know, compared to where you are compared to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of these videos of these areas so you can see here are homes that are in the 250 to 450 and things like that. That way you kind of get an idea, a flavor of, you know, what are the house values like? What am I going to get for my money if I'm relocating to Plattsburgh? Because, you know, when it comes down to it is, you know, you want to live where you want to live. Let me add another note though. I was talking with a friend of mine today, and he's like, well, when we moved here, nobody could really tell us where the nice housing areas were. And that is something that as real estate professionals we have to navigate very closely, because if somebody said, well, I want to be in a really nice house, it's like, oh, well, you should look here then. You should look in this area or that area. That's against the law. That's a violation of fair housing. That's called steering, where a practice that people would move you to certain neighborhoods or whatever. And so we as real estate professionals have to be very careful that we don't do that. So if you on the other hand said, well, I want a home that's 3,000 plus square feet, I want a 3-car garage, I want to be within 10 minutes of Plattsburgh or 10 minutes of the city or 15 minutes of where I'm going to work or whatever, we can search for that, but we can't say, well, this neighborhood or that neighborhood or whatever, because that's against the law and it shouldn't be that way. You know, we're going to find the home that you're looking for. You know, if you say, well, I only want to be in this school district or that school district, or I only want to live outside of the city or things like that, if those are your criteria, then we can certainly search for some of that, if not most of it. But a real estate professional cannot tell you where to live. We don't usually say, well, here's how the schools are. Oh, this school's better than that school. That's information for you to research. I can certainly give you school district websites and things like that, but what you're looking for in a school district is what you're looking for. It may be different than what I would even consider or whatever. But the best thing to do is we're your resource of information. We're not the source of your information, because, you know, that's something for you to decide and not necessarily figure out on your own, but yeah, kind of. So anyway, so let's do this. Let me show you this area right here, and I'm going to zoom in again just so we can see that. I'm going to show you that area first. So right there, I've got selected 400 plus. Let me go back to 350 or 300. Okay, so there's more homes here and over here in the 350s. So this, I'm going to show you this area first. Let's take a look. Welcome to the City of Plattsburgh, officially crossing the city boundary. Congratulations. This, on the left side of the road right here is not the city, but the right side is. It's kind of funny how it breaks right down the city. So if you're on the left side of the street here, you're a different school district than the right. Fun fact. So this housing community is kind of on the back side of the local hospital, which is, locals call it CVPH, Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital. Technically now it's University of Vermont Medical Center, Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital. So it's now UVM CVPH. But this is close proximity to the hospital, so it is a common area that a lot of the medical staff may desire. Doctors probably more in particular, but also business owners and, you know, everyday people. who just live in bigger houses. Beautiful homes through here. And I will probably loop through a couple places just so you get an idea. Actually, there you can see the hospital straight down. So a nice little area here. It's not really like it doesn't have a name of this little area. It's not a specific development. It's just a section of the city. Oh, we're going to go up over the curb. There we go. We got it. Ha ha. I didn't want to take my camera and face it straight forward because I didn't know if you really see it, but really some nicely built homes here. Nice character. Smaller lots, not huge, but that's not uncommon for in the city of Plattsburgh. These would actually be probably bigger compared to some of the lots in the city. Some of the lots in the city might even be like 0.11 acres. I mean, I've seen some properties that are literally like 40 feet wide, maybe 60, probably more common. Oh, that house needs a new roof. Occupational hazard, I apologize. Nice homes, very nice. Above the price range in the city, and you'll see that when we look at the map. Some of the values, just so you get an idea of the flavor of the pricing range and options. I just want to give you some ideas of some of the upper end neighborhoods. I mean, I'll have a separate video that'll probably be like a full vlog tour of, you know, more of like the whole city. You know, you got a lot more neighborhoods, but for this video, I just wanted to highlight, you know, just some of the upper end price options. These are more medium to upper level for the city. They have a little cul-de-sac here. I'm just going to swing around. Oh, there's a nice house right there. That's nice, big, clean windows. Awesome. I always like seeing that. Okay, and now we're going to take a look through the Eastgate neighborhood. That's this section in here. And again, right now we've got homes that are selected that are 300,000 and above. And so let's take a look at Eastgate. All right, we are on Prospect Avenue in the city of Plattsburgh. This is on the north side of the hospital. Beekman Street was on the south side. So we're going to look at a community called Eastgate. Eastgate is, it only has one entrance in and out, and it's on Prospect Avenue, which is good because you don't get a lot of through traffic for anything. But here's the entrance here to Eastgate. Some of these houses they range in age as well. 70s, 80s, I believe. Some of the newer ones closer to right where we are. And as you get farther back, which is typical, you know, they kept building farther from Prospect Avenue. So you'll see a range of styles, a range of, you know, finish levels and things like that. There's a nice little park right up here that we'll see. But it is like a maze too, which is kind of funny. You know, it's right north of the hospital, and whenever I go in the hospital, I always think, gosh, it's a maze. How do people even know how to find stuff? Because they're so big. Nice little park here on the left. And that's what I think of with this community in here as well, because the streets aren't, you know, like all one way or you know, I mean, they are all east-west or whatever, but they do kind of cut in and out here and there. Oh, nice stonework on that one on the left. I like that. So this section right here, the only downside here is the back of that is I-87. I have shown some in here, and there is some noise on the back side. You see some of them have hedges and things like that absorb some of the sound, but there's only a handful of houses that really affects, and some of these back here are nice. Like I said, these are maybe middle to, well, they're above the average price in the city, I'll put it that way. But still some affordable houses too. You know, it always, like anywhere, it always has a variety of affordability options. You might be driving around, you might get one house, oh, this one was $180 and then this one's $380 or something, you know. Some parts of the city, like older parts of the city where they were all built in, you know, like 1800 or something, that have the stone foundations, you know, you might not be able to push value as much as you can some other places, but there's always that opportunity. But at least wanted to show you some of the options and just kind of an idea, you know, not living here, what some of the housing areas look like. And you know, the yards here are about average size for probably a lot of places, but caution, children at play. I don't see them kids out anywhere. Wake them up. Get them outside. I helped a family into a house right over here, which is always fun to do. Handing somebody the keys to a house is my favorite part of my job. And with COVID, we're not allowed to be at closings. Hopefully that'll change. We'll see. But this, my friends, is the Eastgate community of the city of Plattsburgh. Okay, so the next area I want to show you is out where the Air Force Base used to be. It's a combination of Lake Country Village and U.S. Oval housing, which is up this way a little. Right now I'm still selected on 250 and higher. So what I'm going to show you now is 250,000 in the former Air Force Base housing area, Lake Country Village. They kind of call it new base and old base. It's kind of a funny name, but that's what it is. So let's take a look at that area next. But so when the base closed in 94, 95, there's all that base housing. And what you see straight ahead is what's called the old base. And the other side is called the new base. Imagine that, right? But these are duplexes straight ahead, these brick houses. They're duplexes that field grade and above officers would be eligible for. So it's military family housing is what it was when the base was open. And now they are duplexes that you can own. So there are two family dwellings. So each building is a two family. Huge, like 9-foot ceilings. They're really, really nice there. Slate roofs. I would hate to see what the cost would be to replace that. So this is U.S. Avenue. And it's interesting because all of the streets on the base, or most of them, all had state names. So this is U.S. Avenue. To the left, and we're going to see that a little bit later, is U.S. Oval, because it's an oval. I think it's just under a mile to walk the oval. So that's a very common spot too. There's an air park over here commemorating some of the aircraft that were here a long time, FB-111s. was one of them. The older bomber, I forget its designation, but we also had KC-135 Strato tankers, mid-air refueling planes. But that's too big to put right here. This field over on the left where the for sale sign was used to be the base hospital, and that is a prime opportunity for redevelopment. The base housing that we're going to see out here, well, what was the base housing, we're almost to where the Sentry Gate would be to enter the new base side of it, where the runway was. But a lot of the base housing was torn down. A lot of it was renovated. So what I'm going to show you here on the left is the homeowner association, but the community of Lake Country Village. So Lake Country Village, these are all former military housing. They were actually being renovated in the 90s as and after the base closed. They already had contracts for renovation, so they had to fulfill the contract. So they were literally renovating houses with nobody going to be going into them. And then what happened as part of the base reuse and development is they sold them all. When they first started selling the units, some of these you've seen are the single level back a little when we first pulled in here were duplexes. Some of these are fourplexes, sixplexes. But you can see here we're on Main Road. Maryland Road goes down that way. That loops back to where we came in. But these were renovated. They were re-sided, re-roofed. They had to change the heating because the heating used to be like a steam plant for the base. So I think that is how these were heated, but don't quote me. But there's natural gas here, so the natural gas boilers is what heats most of these now. So this area that you're looking at now is all part of a homeowner association. It's about $205 a month, and they take care of the lawn mowing, the snow plowing. You might just have to do like your little sidewalk or something. The only part you'd have to mow is inside your little fence. You can see the fence on the back side of the houses. That would be your responsibility. Some people just put like pavers. So this section here is about where the homeowner association fees stop. And then what you're seeing are new houses, and these are probably in the 200 to 300 or 400, some of them. I think when you get into the 400s here, you're really outpricing the neighborhood. It just makes it harder to get that value back just based on the comps nearby. So all of these are really new. Like these are all within 5 years old. But really, really nice houses. Some of these are duplexes down here, but a lot are single unit. And I'm actually going to turn around so you can see the other side of that same street, because there's some different style houses there as well. This house I turned around in, they actually had their last name on the outside of it, which is, it makes me chuckle because in the military, when these are military houses, your rank and your name would be above the garage door. So like when we were in Wyoming, you know, mine said Master Sergeant Jock. So they could go through a neighborhood and it's like, oh, there they live, there he lives, you know, or whatever. So kind of interesting. I really like the wood look garage doors. Those are really neat. It really gives some character to it, even though they're a traditional, you know, open. But these are newer houses here on the left. Those are not part of the homeowner association, so you're responsible for your own lawn and snow removal and all that, just like you would be. And then these houses on the left, they are part of the homeowner association with that extra fee and with those extra services. And there's some other ones that are being built right around here I wanted to show you before we leave the quote-unquote new base and head to the quote-unquote old base. Just so you can see right down, oh, that one, these three right straight ahead, those are newer, very, very newer. And then down here, so this first one we see is existing, and then these are newer builds down here. I hope you can see it. I know we're kind of driving into the sun with my camera. Dash mount's holding up so far, hasn't fallen on the ground. So these are single unit, very nice. And because there isn't a lot of new construction, the advantage here is you've got all the infrastructure already. So for a builder, you could buy a lot and then build the house because the street is already there, the infrastructure is already, underground. In our community here, that's one of the hardest things for a builder if they want to develop, say a dozen houses in a given spot, is you have to put in all the infrastructure first. So you have to pour the roads, do all the drainage, do all the underground utilities and all that stuff before you can really start building houses. So the former base is an advantage because all that stuff is already here. And what street are we on here? This is like Idaho, I think. I'm not sure. These are all newer houses as well. There are even some that were apartments. I think that might be what these are here to the left. They're more like an apartment style. Smaller units with a single car garage attached. So they are reusing a lot of the land here where they've torn some of the older buildings down. Now we're getting back into some of the existing former base housing buildings and back into the HOA. But they are reusing a lot of the land. They've got so much more that they can build out here because there's a lot of the like the airman housing they were like 6 and maybe 12 plexes. I know they were at least like all over the place, and those were in worse condition than over here, so they tore a lot of those down. But then all the infrastructure is probably still there, power at least, and it's a great opportunity and great spot because they can continue to build. So this is New York Road that we came in on before. Former elementary school over to the left is now Seton Catholic. That's their one campus. They used to have several campuses in the city, Catholic private school. And they're just in this one spot now. And back in that field back there, you can see just some standalone garages because the houses they've torn down. And then this is a new housing development here. This is a little off topic, talking about some of the upper end houses, but the state has given funding towards building these housing units here. I don't know how many are in a building more apartment style, but that's always encouraging to see because any housing that they build is always any housing for somebody, right? And it always creates opportunities. There's been a lot of investors who have taken on an old house that's maybe in disrepair and give it new life, brings new value, and just helps rejuvenate the neighborhood and keep the housing condition is a little better than it was before. So we are back to the roundabout, and we're going to head to the old base, quote unquote, not a base anymore. But I want to show you the front side of those the duplexes that I talked about earlier, and a few other kind of neat housing areas right here. Just highlighting a few of the areas as I work my way to an appointment here in 10:30. So I have a half an hour to show you these. The first building on the left, and actually you might not be able to see it anymore because we've already kind of passed it. would have been, yep, that building right there was the wing headquarters building. And this was the CBPO, Consolidated Base Personnel Office, and a lot of the finance and accounting and things like that were all in there. And these are military offices. Facet Realty, that was, I think, the Office of Special Investigations. And then right next to that are where the duplexes start. Really, really nice area. Those typically sell for maybe $260 to $3 something. Just depends on what's been done. You know, like a lot of houses, it just depends on what they've done to the inside and how the maintenance has been kept up. But the other thing I want to show you as we round the bend over here is I want to just give you a quick snapshot of the oval itself, which I might not be able to do. Hold on. So these are still some of the houses. Okay, here we go. You can get a little glimpse of Lake Champlain right there. And then this is US Oval. The buildings on the left were ROTC buildings. They did NCO Leadership School there, some other things, but there's the Oval. You can get a nice view of it there. Very common. And then the Old Base Chapel here on the left. It's actually where my wife and I got married. 1991? 91. We had a friend of ours give us a copy of our wedding invitation framed as a wedding gift. And that was always my joke, that's how I remember when we got married. I know it was November 2nd, 91 or 92. I don't know, it's all fuzzy. Long time ago. So the buildings up here on the right-hand side of the street were the visiting officer, or the single officer quarters, as well as the visiting airman quarters. It was like an on-base hotel, essentially is what that was. And then you see more of the officer houses here on the right. And then they took down the Officer Club and they built Harbor View, which are these very nice. I'm going to pull in just so you can see it. Very nice units. These are purchase, and those all have a view of the lake. Kind of long, they're all long, skinny buildings because they want to get as much view as they can. So those are condominiums. And those are Harbor View. Club Road is what they call it. And the club was the Officers Club. That's where the Officers Club used to be when the base was here. And here we are at Cumberland Head. Cumberland Head is just north of the city of Plattsburgh, but it's really part of the same community. Okay, so you can see the 300 plus homes. There's still quite a bit. So here we are at 500,000. Okay, you see where we're going, right? So I'm going to show you around Cumberland Head as well, just so you can kind of get an idea how beautiful it is, because it is amazing. And yeah, I'll just throw in a plug. If you're liking what you're seeing, go ahead and give me a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then the little bell so you'll know whenever I do a new video. Okay, let's take a look at Cumberland Head. Not the same type of access here. You see a little like deck right there. They would go out there and sit. And there's a boat launch right down the hill here. Another spot right there where they have stairs going down to probably another little deck that they've done. There's a nice view of the lake and the Adirondack Mountains in the back. My 10:30 is going to be here at 11, so we will have a little bit more time. to show you a little bit more. And actually, I'm going to pull over and show you a better view of the lake. Okay, here we are at Lake Champlain. This is Plattsburgh Bay. There you see the city of Plattsburgh straight over there. The Adirondack Mountains. I think you can see Whiteface from here, but I'm not sure which one it is. It's one of those ones with all the snow on top. Those are the Adirondack Mountains. I can probably zoom in a little bit, give you a little bit of a view. Right? The sound of the waves, huh? You should move here, shouldn't you? What a gorgeous spot. Okay, we're back online now. My phone overheated from being in the sun. Oops. We are still on Cumberland Head. We are headed east. I was going to say north, but we're headed east. This is the connector road where we're passing the ferry to Vermont. Is to the right. There you can see one of the ferries right ahead of us. In the water, not on the road, obviously. So that is Vermont, the land that you see straight ahead over there. So that's pretty much the tip. We've just passed like where the tip of the lake is. And homes on both sides of the road. There is actually natural gas on Cumberland Head now. Much newer houses, higher than the average sale price. Larger, more spacious lots. And I bet amazing views of the water. And this is Brendel Drive. Nice and spacious. I like that they kept a lot of the trees. It looks like a lot of the trees that they kept were white birch, which are very common here. Maybe 15 to 20 houses in this little area. But above the average sale price. And of note, what you get for a house here is probably more than you would get this for the same price somewhere else, or for the same home somewhere else would cost you a lot more. Donkin Park Road on Cumberland Head. Heading northeast right now. Nice spot on the lake here. Low elevation. As we round the corner here to the left, you do get to flood zone. Oh, look, one of my signs. Okay, so there you have it. We've covered a lot of the areas around the city of Plattsburgh. We've shown you the different housing levels, and hope you find this informative. Hopefully it gives you an idea how much house you can get for here in the Plattsburgh area, maybe compared to where you're living now. So if I can help you relocate here to the Plattsburgh area, or locate to the Plattsburgh area, I would be more than happy to do that. I'd be excited to help you find a home just right for you, wherever it is that you want. But reach out to me, either call me, text me, email, carrier pigeon, I don't care. Reach out to me any way you want. Just know that I've got your back when it comes to moving to Plattsburgh. And until my next video, we'll see you soon.